Counting down the hits along this week, socially distanced from somewhere, is Blake Shelton. So, how are you and where are you?
Well, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. And I'm here at the ranch in Oklahoma. Actually, the last time you and I spoke, I was sitting at this same little desk I have at my cabin out here on the ranch, and that was the last time you and I talked in this exact same spot. I love having these conversations with you, though, because I know something must be going on good in my career if Lon Helton wants to talk to me.
That's right. That's right. Like there's nothing else going on in your life or career. I actually thought that you might have been in LA as we talked today, because isn't The Voice about to crank up?
It is, but everything that is airing right now is things that we recorded, that we videoed, over the summer, and starting in, I say the summer, yeah, it was the summer, beginning of August is when we did the blind auditions, and then on into September we were able to film the battle rounds and then the knockouts. Now all we have left is the live shows, which I think they start airing the end of November, and there's only 3 live shows this year. The whole thing's been a big adjustment because of, obviously, we can't have an audience,
right?
In the building like we've had before. But which, by the way, I've missed the energy, but I love not having an audience on one level, because we're able to really, really, really listen and digest, the music that we're hearing and the vocalists, and in a way that never been able to hear before, because somebody comes out and they're good. The audience reacts to that, and sometimes it gets so loud you can't even hear in the room, And also the other element of that is, we're able to really land our jabs at each other,
right?
Like we've never been able to do before.
We're going to talk a lot about The Voice as we get along, but to just piggyback on one of the things you just said about the audience being there, it strikes me too that when you have an audience there, that they are not just reacting to The Voice, they are probably reacting to what that person looks like as well.
Yeah.
And so that, I don't know, that could be a little different indicator for you guys, knowingly or not, when now you can really focus on The Voice.
So many times when an artist, this is over 10 years, when an artist is walking up the stairs, to get in place, we can hear their footsteps, and it's usually, the audience is pretty quiet for that moment, but you always know when there's something, that extra element, by the way the audience reacts. You'll hear a gasp, or you'll see people laughing or giggling, or you see their eyes, or maybe they start becoming emotional in the audience and tearing up before you even hear the first note. And you're going, okay, is there somebody in a wheelchair about to sing? Is there a duo? What is the added thing that's going on that's making these people have different kinds of reactions, And it kind of sets it up to where you're even more, it's even harder to not push your button, just so you can turn around and see what in the hell are you people reacting to.
I'll bet.
Yeah.
You mentioned there are only going to be 3 live shows this year, and are you guys going to be the 4 of you in the studio with that artist?
Yeah, it's interesting. It has worked out really, really well, because the voice chairs were, if you think about it, they're already distanced apart, just naturally. They were exactly 6 feet apart before. Now we've even gone the extra mile, and now they're 8 feet apart from each other. But if you're just looking at the show, you're not, without knowing I just said that, you're not going to go, oh, look how far apart those chairs are. It's going to look basically the same as it always had, And then so when we get into a rehearsal situation, again, because it's a music show, we just go into the studio where you're naturally, I'm at a control board, they're in the studio behind the glass anyway. And so the show has really kind of been able to move forward without skipping a beat, because of the way it's just naturally built around staging and being, we're in the audience, they're on the stage, I'm in the control room, they're in the studio. And so you really visually are not going to watch this and feel like it's the COVID era. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which I think's really, we've been lucky with The Voice that it's just naturally built that way anyway. The only thing you're going to miss is the live studio audience, but we were able to, I think there's other shows doing it where they have the big screen with, fans,
Right.
watching from home on Zoom, whatever technology they were using. And so they still have the audience reacting and stuff. They're just not there in the room with us.
Yeah, the tech is amazing. I think you were here last time, just before the finale, and that seemed to come off really well. I mean, I really like the whole tech thing, how you kind of connected all the coaches and all the finalists. I mean, it was really pretty amazing.
Yeah, outside of a little bit of delay that, we just had to work around because of the situation, it was fun. Everybody, I think, was way more relaxed. They were literally sitting at home drinking or whatever. That's what I was doing anyway. And just able to, you almost felt like you were watching the show on TV while being on it at the same time.
Yeah.
And it brought, I think, a relaxed, more fun atmosphere than I ever expected it to,
Yeah. And I see that Gwen Stefani is back as a coach this year.
She is, which makes it a lot more exciting for me to go to work when I know we actually we ride to work together. We go home together. It's a lot of fun because we met on that show, and so now, flash forward 5 years later into our relationship. The fact that we still get to work together, every now and then. She's not on every season. I don't know that she would want to do every season, but she does it just enough that it stays exciting and new to her. And she's more competitive this season, I think, than I've ever seen her be, because I think this is going to be her 5th season, and she hasn't won this thing yet. And it's gone from I don't care about winning to now she's starting to get pissed off, So
Well,
that's good. That's good for all of it.
I did see she made a comment in People magazine stating flatly that you are not going to win.
Yeah, she says if she doesn't win, she's going to be sure that I don't win either, because she don't have to hear about it when I get home. I'm not sure how she's going to pull that off, but she's very powerful. Now,
speaking of powerful, I can't imagine that show without you. So you wield a lot of clout in there. I mean, do you tell them, hey, I'd sure like to have Gwen Stefani on this show as a coach with me? I mean, do you kind of make that suggestion?
There's been a time or two in the past where the conversation has come up, and the one that comes to mind immediately was when Adam Levine, because I found out the same within an hour of everybody else in the world that Adam wasn't going to be doing the show anymore. And it was at a moment where it was almost time to start filming the blind auditions for the next season, And when I found out, I started dialing up my phone because I was thinking, wow, here I'm sitting here with Gwen. Now we got to get Gwen back. If it's not going to be Adam, I want one of my other close friends to be in one of those chairs, because there's always that moment of when they throw somebody in there that's brand new that none of us have ever worked with or know. You always wonder, is that chemistry going to be there, between the 4 of us, or is it going to be? It's just either is one of those things that happens or it doesn't, And because I know how it is with Gwen on the show and how everybody gets along with her, and she can be funny, and part of the excitement of having Gwen Stefani on the show, and the producers will tell you this too, is sitting outside of her trailer every day wondering what outfit she's going to come out in. She brings it. And who else had that was CeeLo too. We all couldn't wait every day to see what CeeLo was going to wear. Came out of his trailer. So I don't know how Gwen would take that, by the way, if I said, yeah, you're the new CeeLo, except you don't bring a snake to work every day. But so yes, in that instance, I was really campaigning, and I got on the phone with the vice president of NBC, and I said, look, I just heard about Adam. I don't know what you guys are thinking, but I'm going to tell you right now. And she goes, Blake, stop. We've already made the offer to Gwen. She doesn't even know it yet. It's going through a manager. And I thought, oh, okay, thank God. So They beat me to the punch on the one time that I tried to whip my weight around there. They already knew who they wanted anyway, so it all paid off for everybody.
I'll tell you, the guy that I feel sorry for is John Legend, because through various things, whether it be marriages and management and other things, you have really, obviously, a close personal relationship with Gwen Stefani, but you also have a personal relationship away from the camera for years with Kelly Clarkson, because of all those things. So John is he's kind of at a family Thanksgiving dinner, and all you guys have your inside stuff and that, and he's kind of outside looking in.
Well, first of all, you're the first person I've ever heard say they feel sorry for John Legend.
That's true.
In any way, I mean, the guy is everywhere. He's taken over the world, it seems like. And you're right about Kelly, but, and even with, some of her personal things she's going with now, with she's going through a divorce right now, and she's a great friend of mine. And of course, her husband, Brandon's a great friend of mine. And it just, all it really does is bring that family element out even a little bit more, because I hate it for both of them. And so to your point, yeah, John is now even more so, the person who got invited to Thanksgiving that is trying to, figure out where he fits in. But John Legend, trust me, you don't ever need to feel sorry for him when it comes to being a competitor on the show, because he absolutely he dominates in the blind. I always kind of gauge the show. No matter who wins, we as coaches, there's two ways to look at winning for us. It's who gets the most 4-chair turn artist to pick them, and then who goes on to win the show. Well, since John's been on the show, it's not even been close. He gets way more 4-chair turns. I mean, artists look at this guy and they go, okay, he has nowhere to put any more Grammys. He's got an Oscar, he's got a Tony, he's got an Emmy, he's just a machine when it comes to making music, and great music, and music that fans love, that critics love. He walks that line, and so they definitely want his guidance on the show. I don't blame them.
Yeah.
So don't feel sorry for John, is all I'm saying.
No, and stand corrected. But I was thinking, though, you have to have somebody of that stature just to hang in with you, Gwen and Kelly, because of your personal relationships. So interesting what you said, though. I mean, you got to have somebody who can hang in. So it sounds like you're maybe even a little closer with Kelly.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, anytime, we all have friends, and it's the tough times that I think make us closer than the good times. And Kelly has been there for me in the past, and now it's my turn, and that adds to, a friendship, I think. So she'll be, Kelly Clarkson, they'll all be fine. It just sucks when you're going through it.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, up next to the countdown is Kane Brown, and we've been talking about the voice through the show, but Kane is joining you as your team mentor this season, right?
He is, and it's the first time. I've met Kane a handful of times. I take that back. I may have only met him one other time, and I believe it was at the CMA Awards, or it could have been the CMT Awards. It was one of the two. I know it was in the Bridgestone Arena. And I just shook his hand and said hi, and like we all do at those award shows, everybody's being drugged to the next place, And so I never really had a chance to get to know him or even know that much about him outside of hearing him on the radio. And then in more recent times, he's kind of branched out, and he's had a crossover success, which is really tough for a country artist. As it doesn't happen a lot. And he's kind of stepped into that world a little bit. So definitely wanted him to be my advisor. I asked for Kane because, our teams that we put together are usually, no matter what you set out to do, they always end up being a little bit all over the map, and I'll normally end up with 3 or 4 country singers, but then I'll have a pop singer, and then I'll have a soul singer and a rock person and an Americana. Just it'll always be, and then there'll be that artist that you really don't even know what category to put them in,
Yeah.
And so that's why I thought it would be great to have Kane, because he coming from country music, he's also been very diverse with other genres and stepping into other roles, and he's even written a song with John Legend and sang it with him.
Yeah.
So I just knew that he would be a guy that everybody knows who he is at this point, and respects him as far as the artists out there go, and I knew he would have a lot of great input. With art, I maybe wouldn't really know what direction to send them in.
No, I think it's a great choice. I mean, he's really complimentary to you. I mean, first of all, he's young.
That's good, Lon. You're breaking up.
Yeah. But then, do you think it'll give you a chance to maybe get some artists who on your team that maybe you couldn't have got before?
I don't think so. By the time he comes on board and people find out that he's my mentor this season, we've already finished up the blind audition process. So, but maybe moving forward to the next season, it may open some artists' eyes to go, oh, well, Blake had Kane last year as his advisor, and it shows that, maybe he does have his eyes open to this new generation in country music, and the blend of maybe hip hop and rap and some of these things in with country music.
Yeah.
And so in terms of thinking of it that way, absolutely. I do think it can help. Yeah.
Do you?
And by the way,
yeah,
when Kane Brown, just so you know, and I'm sure you do know, he is not in a hurry to do anything. And I even tweeted after the blinds, I didn't want to give away who my advisor was, but I said, I'm not going to say who my advisor is, but I will tell you that if there's ever a tornado coming, this kid is not going to make it. He will not make it from the living room to the cellar, because he is physically. I mean, he got to the point where even he had to admit, yeah, man, I'm pretty chill. I'm just chill. I'm like, yeah, but you're walking a quarter of a mile an hour everywhere you go. And even when he talks, it's like a very slow Southern drawl. Like, I'm just going, wow, you are. And I had to be sure that he knew I wasn't saying he was mentally slow, because I would say that to somebody like Luke Bryan or Adam. I don't know Kane well enough yet to rib him like that, but I will say physically, the slowest human being I've ever met in my life.
Oh, that's good. Hey, do you as part of that team mentor thing, do you consult them at all? And what I'm curious about is, do you consult them at all when it comes to selecting songs for the people who sing on your team?
I do. I go down the road of all of it, from the song selections to selecting who my mentors are. I mean, there was a few seasons where, it was coming at me so fast that I started rattling off things that I just thought were ridiculous. And I'll be damned. I remember one year they said, who you want for your mentor this year? And I felt like I had just made that decision for the season before. And I was like, what is it? Art? I said, I don't know. Get me Cher. And I'll be damned if Cher wasn't my mentor that season. They were able to get, and then the next time it was, I don't know, get Bette Midler. I always wanted to work with Bette Midler. And next thing I know, I'm sitting next to Bette Midler. So I've learned that, man, they're going to take whatever I say, and even if they can't get it done, they're going to try their best to get it done. And so I've really enjoyed that. And so I take it serious, and I know that, whoever I get, I really need to think about, who they are and what they can bring to the team. And I've never had an advisor yet that I thought, man, they really didn't get it, because every artist has their own trials and tribulations they've been through, and that wealth of knowledge that got them to that point that they're at, that they bring to the table, that's not like anybody else's, you know. And I think that's helpful.
You know, one thing you can see is how important the song is that your a team member sings. I mean, the song selection is so critical, and they have clips of you guys kind of going through what you choose and why. But do you ever ask the mentor for a suggestion for one of your team members to sing a song? Because I was thinking maybe Kane is going to bring some real different ideas, maybe about songs they could or should sing.
He did do that, as a matter of fact, and you know, it only happens in conversations where, because he's speaking to a battle pairing that I had already paired together.
Oh, okay.
And then it goes, okay, it's X versus Y, and he'll always end up saying this season, whether they aired or not, when they leave the room after a rehearsal, he'll go, well, look, if you end up going with X, you ought to think about doing a song by, you know, whoever, Sheryl Crow, because I can really see her, you know, getting into that, and she's kind of got that vibe. So yeah, it definitely has ideas and stuff that, you know, I'm not good at writing things down, but they definitely, I listen to people, and I try to see their point of view, and so many times, you know, when somebody like Kane, who's so much younger than me, but he's so successful, I always think, you know, I always try to pay extra amounts of attention to an idea that he may have, because he's tapped into a generation that I haven't probably at this point, and a fan base that I haven't, and there's something real to that I think, you know, I need to listen to, is especially whenever I have other artists' future on the show in my hands, and trying to make the best decisions for them that I can.
And of course, The Voice Monday and Tuesday nights on NBC. Current hit is Happy Anywhere. Best luck with that. And Gwen's a bona fide country star now, so congratulate her for me as well.
I'll do it, buddy. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for the time, as always. And now, now what? Is deer season still on?
You're dang right. I'm about to go get my stand right now.
All right.
That's how much I love you, Lon. I took a day off deer hunting for you.
Man, oh man, that is the highest compliment I may have ever received. Thank you so much, bud. Appreciate you.
Thank you, buddy. Good to hear your voice. I'll see you soon, I hope.
You too. Take care now.